Life Management Science Labs would like to acknowledge that we live and produce this podcast on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands of our listeners and our international colleagues. We'd like to thank and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hi everyone, and welcome to Room by Room, the Home Organisation Science Insights podcast, produced by LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. We're champions of life management science, providing structured insights informed by science and inspired by practice on key aspects of conscious living. Each week we bring you scientific and practical insights on each element, with the expert knowledge of professionals in the field. I'm your host, Gabriella Yastra, coming to you from Naarm, Melbourne, Australia. Let's begin.
Hello and welcome back to Room by Room, the Home Organisation Science Insights podcast. The bedroom is the heart of any home. It is inevitably used every single day. You wake up, you go to sleep, it all starts and ends in the bedroom. And thus, it only makes sense that we keep our bedrooms organised. So today we're speaking to professional organiser Aanchal Kejriwal for her expert advice on identifying strategies and priorities for organising our bedroom, with a fervour for creating simple clutter-free homes and creating awareness on the importance of staying organized. Aanchal runs Arrange It All, comprising a team of certified professional organizers who follow a scientific approach towards organizational challenges. Hi Aanchal, it's lovely having you on the show. How are you going today?
Hi Marie, it is lovely to be here and it's a beautiful day. I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, well, I'm really curious to know, before we begin, what compelled you to found Arrange It All?
So as a child, I was a very, very organized and tidy freak person. And that is something that I carried as a passion. And during COVID, I realized that people were very stressed for space, right? People were spending so much of time at their home that the surroundings were becoming very, very important for them. And for me, the space is actually very, very important, right? So that is where the idea of home organization began, where I was doing small things for me and for my friends and family. And I realized that I have a knack and a passion towards it. I was like, why not help others out? And that is where one thing led to another. And Arrange It All began during COVID.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And it's a perfect preface for our topic for today. But before we get further into detail, we'd really like to get to know you better. So this is Have You Met Aanchal? And the first thing I want to know is, what do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to binge watch Netflix, enjoy good food, spend a little bit time with my kids, meet up with friends. And of course, I enjoy a good weather or a drive.
Yeah. What do you like to binge on Netflix?
Okay, it varies on the mood I am in. It can vary from a rom-com to a K-drama to anything. But I am not a very thriller person. That would be once in a while. But yeah, rom-coms or dramas or family dramas are my go-to.
Yeah. And how would you describe your interior style at home?
My interior style at home is pretty minimalistic. I don't like to, have pieces in every corner of the home. I like to create a space where I can think through, and there's a lot of visible and free space around me. So you won't see a lot of decor pieces. And at the same time, I like to create a home where it is very, very personalized. You'll see a lot of pictures of my loved ones, memories, around the house. But you won't find the house filled with a lot of storage.
Mm-hmm. And is there a space or room in your home that you're particularly fond of?
I love my hall particularly, and for the same reason, because all the other space still have a lot of storage. In the hall, I've kept it very, very bare, where I can see two very empty spaces. It gives me clarity, and I have a lot of plants and everything going on there. So I love that area with soft lighting and, play around with colors, with cushions and everything. So that's kind of my favorite area where the entire family spends most of the time.
Yeah, plants are a great way to liven up a space. And in your lifetime, have you ever had someone that you looked up to, either professionally or personally?
So, in terms of role model, I like to draw inspiration from people around me, frankly. Maybe like, people who have pursued their passion and carved a niche for themselves and have built successful businesses around their passion. Those are the people I really look up to. And I try to draw inspiration from a lot of people that I meet on a regular basis. Someone might have some quality that I completely admire, right? So it's not like I have one role model that I can completely speak about, but yeah, I keep drawing inspiration from a lot of people I meet on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure. And what kind of qualities would you find admirable?
I think authenticity, that is very, very important for me. People who can be themselves and are not trying to portray someone else and truly believe in what they are doing. That comes from the heart directly. Like a lot of people, when they talk to me, they feel that you look very passionate about organizing it, not you are trying to like learn something and force it out there, right?
Yeah.
So that is something, being authentic and hard work is being honest about the work you do and who you are is something that I admire the most.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like passion is the greatest blessing as well. Being able to find passion in something that you don't have to force out of. So I really, really agree with you there. Now, have you ever taken a course that has stuck with you until now?
So, as I said, I was a homemaker for a very long time before I started Arrange It All, right? So I had no knowledge of that, how to build a business around it or how to talk to clients and everyone. So I came across this course by NSRCell in Bangalore, which is a business institute in India. And we had gone to a startup program there. That gave me a lot of clarity on to build a business around my passion and my idea. So yeah, that the learning from there, talking to a lot of people out there and mentors, that really helped me to, scale this and follow my passion and convert an idea into a business.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what are some of the key takeaways that you got from that course?
One of the very big takeaways from that course was don't give up on your idea, right? Follow it. You might have to tweak around it. You might have to give what the audience wants, but don't give up on your idea so easily. If you are honest about it, if you are consistent and hardworking about it, you can make it happen. Also, another thing I learned from that is a lot of times that we are very focused on the solution we are ready to give. We are not ready to focus on the problems that we are solving. When you talk to a lot of people around you, when you see, you can find genuine problems that people are facing. When you make your solution around those problems, that is when you are striking a chord with your client or audience.
And how have you applied those to your business?
So it's interesting. I started as a professional organizer and a decluttering consultant, where I was helping people, declutter and organize their existing spaces, make the most of the spaces that they had. Slowly and steadily, I realized that, why not create a clean slate and a system right from the start when they are moving into a house. Organizing an existing space is a different ballgame, right? But when you do it right when they are moving into new home, would be such a great way of welcoming them in a fully, functional and set houses with proper system. So when talking to a lot of people, they said it might be a blessing in today's world if I could help them set up the entire house right at the start. And that's how, our businesses pivoted, and we are offering also started including, setting up homes when people were moving into the new house. Then people came up with, they were facing challenges with the wardrobe designs and utilizing proper spaces. We started a verticals where we started helping people with designs so that they can optimally utilize the entire space that they have. Nowadays, the spaces that we have is not very large, right? So, using every inch of the space in a smarter way, using techniques that can utilize that space to the optimum, and at the same time, creating ease of use, ease of function is equally important. So that's again something that we started.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like we got to know about you a little bit more as well as your business. So that's a really good start. Now we'll move on to the interview section. And my first question for you is, what do you think is the importance of maintaining organization in the bedroom?
So you rightly said at the start of the interview, Marie, that bedroom plays such an important role in our home, right? That is where we start the day and end our day with. So having an organized bedroom is so important. Our bedroom houses things that are personal to us, right? Living area, dining area, kitchens are very common spaces, but bedrooms are something that is very personal to us. We have the belongings that we need in our own space. It's our own space to wind up after a long day of work. And at the same time, where we like to relax and at the end of the day fall off to sleep before we start another day and are completely energized. Being overwhelmed with things around us in a bedroom obviously tends to create that anxiety. It is gonna reduce or hamper your sleep. It is gonna hamper your productivity when you start a day when you're not able to find things at the right time. At times you struggle, when you're looking for something, a particular dress to get ready because you are getting ready for office or for a party or anything else, and you're not able to find that. It creates that sense of overwhelming anxiety. It's a very funny story. In fact, today it says the locket that I'm wearing, it was completely entangled, and I was struggling because I was getting late for this podcast. And I was trying to entangle it completely. It took me a while to get that done. And it realized that it's so important to have it organized and have a system so that it becomes easier for you to function. Small things makes a lot of difference, like your bedside table. If you have it all cleared up and things that you would like to wind up at night, it makes so much of the difference. It calms you down. You have your foot cream there. You have your pet there. You have your gratitude journal there. Things like that create a lot of difference.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I recently started implementing some strategies, some systems into my own home, and I found it to be such a difference because you're relying on muscle memory instead of your brain capacity, and it just frees up a lot of time, to be honest, and effort. So as the founder of Arrange It All, which follows a scientific approach towards organizing, could you tell us about some of that research that should inform our organizing habits?
So if you Google top 5 things that can make your life better, I think decluttering and organizing is going to be one of the top 5 in the list, right? And there is a reason for that. The reason being having an organized space, a decluttered space, frees up your mind space as well, right? It's very important for your mental health. I see a lot of clients day in, day out who are able to function much better because now they have an organized space and a system around them. Research also shows that your stress hormone goes way down if you are living in a clutter-free zone, right? There's not a lot of distraction around you. So your productivity and efficiency increases. If you have a lot of clutter on your desk, you will keep scrambling for things, leading to anxiety. Also, you'll not be able to focus on something that is important because you keep getting distracted. There's so much of visual distraction around. So, of course, their research points out that, having a decluttered and clutter-free zone is very important for a better living or a better way of life.
And what are some key principles of organizing that we can take away from that research and implement in our bedrooms?
So the first thing is, declutter. don't hold on to each and every single thing. I think decluttering forms the basis of each and every organized journey that you take, right? So it's very, very important that you declutter and create a clutter-free zone around you. Also, creating systems, as you mentioned, like muscle memory is so important for you, right? Small habit changes and small systems creates a lot of difference. So yes, if you are able to incorporate small changes in your daily habits and in your space, which makes your life easier, it's obviously going to be better for you. And as we come to specifically, if we are talking about bedroom, right? Supposedly you have a wardrobe, right? So if you have a wardrobe and a section that is dedicated only towards office wear, right? So you don't have to look around the entire wardrobe and getting distracted by thousands of things early in the morning, where you have to just pull out a shirt, a scarf, and go in a bag and get ready in a jiffy. It reduces so much of stress. So yes, creating a space for everything in your bedroom so that you are able to function better is very, very important.
Mm-hmm. And with decluttering, what are some principles we should be following? What should we be considering throwing out, and what should we be okay with keeping?
That's a very tough and a very personalized question, Marie. Because, decluttering and organizing is something that is, I believe, is very personal. A system that works really well for me might not work the same way for you. Also, some item that might be very, very precious to me might hold a completely meaningless thing to you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important that we declutter according to our own choices, going through each and every item and thinking, does it serve a purpose or do we love it? I think these two are very, very important questions to ask when you are decluttering. If it's not serving a purpose in your life, right? So it doesn't need to be there occupying the prime space in your wardrobe or in your room or in your house for that matter. Right? So it's extremely essential that you ask these two questions. Also, there are certain things that you don't love, but you need, like a safety pin, right? You might need, 4 safety pins. You might not hold on to like 50 of them for a normal life. So that is also something that you need to take into consideration. See, these tools are important, but how many do I need to have? Mm-hmm. That check is also extremely important when you're decluttering.
Mm-hmm. And after we finish decluttering, what are some of the next steps that we can start looking towards?
So first and foremost, I think it's very important to have a vision. When you close your eyes and imagine your space, it's extremely important that you create a vision for yourself. What kind of space do you want for yourself? Because that is something that is going to inspire you, encourage you to take the next step. Post that comes is decluttering, where we take stock of what you want to have and what you don't want to have, right? The third one is categorization. Categorize every item into broad categories first, like makeup, handbag, shoes, nightwear, office wear, toiletries, etc. Right? Once you've done that, it's important to subcategorize them also. In makeup, there might be eye makeup, hair, or lip makeup, or etc. Like, subcategorize them. Then the next step is containment. Provide a home to everything, right? Contain them within the space that you have. Because when you take a stock of your things and your space, it will give you an idea how much that space can actually hold, right? So containment is important, and that's where organizing products come also into the picture, where you think if this particular product is going to optimize that space well, let's use it there, and it's able to contain that particular category. So containment is extremely important. Containment also helps you to take a stock at a later on when you are trying to maintain your space. If one particular basket you have filled your t-shirts with, it starts overflowing, you have an idea that you cannot buy any more t-shirt or it's time to declutter that particular category. And the last one is maintain. Building small habits to maintain that space is extremely important, because if you don't do that, you're going to restore the space to its original form, which you don't want to. So maintaining your space is equally important to keep that harmony and balance going on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that was so detailed as well. But it sounds like this organizing the bedroom, let alone the home in general, it sounds like there's so many steps to it, and it obviously can't be done within a day. So how important is it to identify the priority areas in the bedroom, and how do we go about doing this?
So priority areas, I think we should always start with our wardrobe. Like, because that creates a lot of difference, that holds the most of the storage of our bedroom actually, right? So tackling your wardrobe is I always tell people to start with, right? Once you have seen the difference it creates, it inspires you to take stock of other spaces in your bedroom as well. But start with a small section of your wardrobe if you don't have the bandwidth of tackling it entirely. Take one category at a time, maybe clothes. And even in clothes, if you feel that there is a particular category that is huge, take that out and tackle that first, declutter and organize before you start tackling that entire wardrobe. It might be very, very overwhelming to start and feeling lost, right? Because everything is out now, you don't know how to put everything back in, because it takes time, energy, effort, everything. Or, like I always say, if you are unable to tackle it at your own, there is absolutely no problem in seeking for help, be it from a friend, a family member, or a professional. Find an accountability partner, find a friend who can help you through this. So that's extremely important.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I just feel like having moral support for this, even if your friend's just there to hang out, it can not only give you the motivation and the encouragement you need, but it's also just it's a way to hold you accountable. It's a way to hold you accountable for the goals that you want to achieve for yourself, which is in this case, organizing. And someone is there witnessing all of this, all of your highs and all of your lows. It's a whole process. And I'm aware that I'm making it sound a lot more dramatic than it is, but I feel like there is some truth in that drama there, but I digress. The next thing I did want to ask was, what are some innovative storage solutions that we can maybe implement to use around the bedroom if we are running out on storage space?
So few of the things that I really like are like underbed storages, right? If you have an underbed storage, it gives you an opportunity to at least store your linens and cushions, or winter wear items that you're not gonna use on a regular basis, basically seasonal items, right? Also, if you have easy access to them, you can even store your daily, as I said, linens and pillows and cushions over there. Back of your door is a very, very great idea to create extra storage space in your bedroom, which is generally hidden from the view, right? Back of the door. In your closet space, I would always recommend use the vertical height. We have a lot of hanging space. Use the sleeker handles for your, light clothes, because that creates a lot of difference. And I've seen that personally, instead of using various kinds of hangers and very heavy ones, you might resort to sleeker ones and all uniform hangers. After all, you're trying to create a space that you love and use, right? So giving that aesthetic appeal also matters a lot. When you open your wardrobe, you should feel happy about it. When you open your drawer, you should feel happy about it. Also, it's extremely essential that you have a nightstand with storage. At times, we tend to just keep a stool or a beautiful looking nightstand, which is not utilizing the space well. Just having a drawer there can, keep the surfaces clear. it's actually important that, all the open surfaces are clear so that you are able to see clutter-free areas and also think through, right? So you can use your nightstand, you can use underbed storages, you can use the vertical space in your wardrobe or the back of the door.
Yeah, you really called me out on that one because I do use a stool for my bedside table, but I do find it to be a struggle, to be honest, because there is barely any room to put anything at all. I usually take my iPad and my phone to bed with me, and I have no place to put my iPad because it's a stool. It doesn't have any place. So that is something that I'll have to definitely do. I've been considering it for a while, but what kind of bedside table would be best to maximize that storage space?
Okay, so first you take a stock of the space you have. Maybe you have space for only a tiny one, or you have a space for a bigger one. If you are trying to create more storage, I think a two drawer with a clean top is ideal. But if you do have more space in your room and you want a little more pleasing to the eye, you can just have one drawer where the lower part is open, right? It creates some more visibility. But having said that, you have to take a stock of your things and what do you want to stock there. The lower half of the bed can stock your medicine or your, a little bit non-essential item. And the upper half always needs to store, like you said, your iPad, right? Because they're taking it to your bed, which is not a great thing. So you can just open, you can open the drawer and just put that iPad there. So all the things that I personally, Mary, don't like to get up from bed once I am retired, wash my feet, wash my face, and I just want to get inside the blanket and just be there and vegetate at the end of the day. If someone tells me go and get that moisturizing lotion from the washroom, I better not use it rather than getting up and going there. So so I would have all those my, extra set of specs, my hand cream, or, a book or something that I use most often when I'm going to bed so that I don't have to get up from there. That's absolutely something that I hate and I just want to relax.
No, I completely have to agree with you there. It feels so good when you are so ready for bed and so comfortable. It feels like it's the worst thing in the world to have to get out of your comfort zone and go and get something. I no shame in that. I completely agree with you there. So what are some of the common mistakes that people do when organizing their bedrooms? What can we learn from these mistakes?
So you're going to laugh at the first one that I'm going to say, but I think people pile up too many cushions on their bed for the aesthetic point of view, right? So, if you can create that cozy feeling by not having 20 pillows on your bed, because at the end of the day, you have to put all down. When you want to keep, you cannot keep with 20 pillows, which is occupying half of your bed, right? And then in the morning while you're making your bed, you have to get all of them up, right? So, having lesser cushions and pillows, which also give your bed that cozy feel and at the same time is functional, is absolutely essential. Also, don't have your blankets and linens and everything on the bed so that you don't have to make your bed. You can just use it like that over and over again. That is the first thing that I think. The second thing is I've already spoken about is the bedside storage. That creates a lot of difference when people are not optimizing that space, right? So I think a lot of things I've already spoken about in the previous question, where I see people are making these small mistakes of overcrowding their room because when they have too much. So once what we don't think is we should declutter. What we do is keep on adding storage. That makes your room feel smaller and claustrophobic. At times, we don't need extra storage. We need to let go of the things that we are not using, and that will create a lot of difference. So don't pile on the storage. Also, memory, right? You cannot have each and every surface covered with something or the other that you have bought. Be very thoughtful about that. When you don't have open surfaces at all, I feel my mind is blocked because I'm constantly thinking there. I'm constantly cleaning there, right? Because you have to pick up each and every item, clean every day, put back. Yeah, we're complicating things for ourselves.
Yeah.
So don't have too many things and don't have let a little air and light seep into your bedroom. I love to open the curtains and windows morning once I wake up for that energy to flow in, right? Always having curtain down in your room is not a very, very great choice, right?
Yeah.
So these small things really help in creating the peaceful environment in your bedroom where you can get ready and also relax at the end of the day.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on the decorative pillows as well. It sounds like it's a lot of work to remove from the bed, put on the floor, and put it back onto the bed in the morning. It sounds like a lot of extra steps that is only going to serve the purpose of decoration. But if that's what people want to do with their time, then that's fair. But when it comes to sharing a bedroom space, it can be quite tricky to divide the storage and to divide all of the items. So what advice do you have for organizing them?
So I know when you say that when you're sharing a bedroom space, it can be tricky. I think it's extremely important to take a stock of each one's belonging and having a clear space for each individual, right? So it's important, it's funny. Almost all the projects that I do is like the husbands get half a wardrobe and the wives get one and a half of the wardrobe. Right? So because the belongings are like it, and we have to use the entire space, right? So we are always encroaching on our husband's wardrobe because we have so many categories, right? So you have to take stock of each and every item each one of you has and should have dedicated space that works for you. If you're using the right side of the bed, you might want to have your things that is easy to use on the right side of the bed and not have to move across the room to, take things from the other side. And also it's funny, if you are the one who's taking control of the AC, you should have the remote on your side of the bed and not the other side, right? So all these things, like small systems that you create for yourself, creates a difference. And at the same time, you have to take into account that you have to do that room or decorate that room or organize the room according to each one's preferences. Even if you're living together in that space, you are two individual people with two different choices and two different set of belongings and two different systems, right? So you cannot enforce the same system in all the places around the room. For my belongings, I would like it certain way. This is my designated space, so I should have the liberty of organizing it my way and not forcing the other one to follow the same path. It's very, very personalized, I feel, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing that. Now, how often should we revisit and revise our organizational system in the bedroom?
So I think we should take a stock of our things every 3 to 4 months. That's what my personal view is. And if not 3 months, 6 months at least is very, very ideal to take stock of things that you would have shopped for and the things that you are ready to let go. And at that point of time is not serving a purpose in your life and does not need to occupy the prime space in your bedroom or your closet or your drawer space, right? So I think it's reasonable to say, depending upon your life choices, your shopping habits and everything, anywhere between 3 to 6 months is a reasonable time.
And for people who are on a budget, what advice do you have when it comes to trying to keep the costs lower when reorganizing? For example, if someone doesn't have, let's say, all of that much money to go and get a new bedside table and they kind of have to work with what they have.
So I think it's very we are living in a world where there's so much of options available. Right? You don't have to spend the money to actually organize your space. It can be budget friendly also. You can refurbish an item that you might have seen somewhere and served your purpose. It might not be, fully completely new piece. You can use a refurbish. You can use a pre-loved item. And having said that, you don't have to spend on very expensive organizers to organize space. You can do a lot of DIYs because we have shield boxes, we have small boxes around the home which we don't use but hold them for no purpose most of the time. Let's put them to good use in holding and categorizing and containing stuff, right? So you can get creative around that, and if you really want a decluttered and organized space, it's on the willpower and the vision that you have. It's not about spending a lot of money. You can create a space by just thinking over it and utilizing the best of the resources you already have before going to shop. In fact, I never advise my clients to just first shop for organizing tools and then start the process. It's always advisable that you declutter, take stock, everything, measure your space properly, take optimum stock of what you already have, how you can put them to good use, and then go out and see the things that you actually require.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was so informative. Now I'll move on to the practices and habits section. And the first question I have for you is, what is a habit that you'd recommend practicing to maintain organization in the bedroom?
Okay, the first and foremost I abide by is make your own bed every single day in the morning. I think it creates a lot of difference. It's like one task done that you have achieved during your day, and that sets the tone of the day, a very, very positive tone of the day. People don't realize that having a very clear space once you wake up, make your bed, having that, visual in itself releases happy hormones for them and sets the tone of the day. Second one is, I feel that, a small habit of returning your things back to its place after using it, right? Just not using your frame and leaving it on the bed. I think if it's in a drawer, because you've provided a home to each and everything, it should go back to your home as when you come back from work, you return back to your home. So everything needs to have a place of its own, and it should get back to its place of its own. And it hardly takes 5 seconds, Marie. It does not take 5 minutes when you have to. It will take longer when you start piling things and you start shoving things here and there, and the entire system goes for a toss. Third is take your laundry very, very seriously. You should have a laundry bag always so that you can keep the dirt and laundry in there. Or you should always fold your laundry neatly and get it back in your wardrobe each and every single day, or whatever your washing cycle is. It's a very great trick that I use is never leave my laundry on a chair or a sofa. I always fold it neatly and leave it on the bed. So that when I want to sleep, I am not just relocating it. I am putting it back in the wardrobe or the chest of drawers where it needs to go. It's because clothes are something that immediately goes out of control and hand. So that small habit is extremely important in maintaining your room on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and it also prevents that possibility that you'll have to do a whole bunch of chores and tasks before you can actually get into bed, or just on any given day realizing that you have too much to do and it becomes so overwhelming. It really does help to prevent that. But
I think, I think spending 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the night and being consistent with it makes all the difference.
are there any challenges though when you do attempt to practice these habits? Are there any times where you feel far too exhausted to actually go ahead with executing these tasks?
Yeah, of course. In day-to-day life, you are busy, and some days are more challenging than others. You are stressed for time and everything, and you don't feel like doing that chore at the end of the day or folding your laundry and keeping back in your wardrobe. What I would suggest is that night is like leave the laundry in a bag, or you can create small station, or you can just relocate it, but tend to it the next morning. Just wake up 5 minutes early and tend to it. It's completely natural for things to start going out of your hand on a regular basis. Like there are months when I'm constantly traveling, like, I'm like living out of the suitcase and coming back, laundry getting done, packing, leaving. It becomes difficult. But when I get that time, even an hour or so, I try and get back to the routine. It's extremely important for my sanity and the sanity of others and my space. So you might deviate, but you need to restore back to restore the peace.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. It's been such an insightful conversation. Now we'll move on to the open mic section, and this is your opportunity to talk about anything that you're passionate about that doesn't have to be related to the topic at all. So the floor is yours. Take it away.
So, I think, I believe I'm a simple person who believes in putting the hard work and commitment to whatever I do. It makes me feel restless if I am not being able to give my 100% there. But over the years, I have realized that you do not need to strive for perfection all the time. Just getting it done and starting is extremely important out there. Like with Arrange It All, I had the book needs to be perfect, that needs to be perfect when I was starting before I start. But then one fine day, I realized that it will never be perfect and I'll never be satisfied with that particular announcement or the script or the logo or something. I need to get it going. So on days like, you need to take a call. Okay, this is good to go. Let me start there at least. So that has become my kind of go-to mantra, getting a work done instead of striving for perfection on an each and every day. And we have built a team. I started as a solopreneur where I was helping people out. And now over the 4 years of Arrange It All, I am privileged to say that we have been able to bring those positive changes in people's lives. And now we have a team who is able to do that. And our vision is becoming bigger and bigger with each step that we take. And we want to go out there and explain the importance of space to people, importance of systems to people. And so we are not restricting ourselves to houses or residential homes anymore. We want to go out and be much more in offices and warehouses and stuff like those. Any space is an opportunity to upgrade your the way you live. So that's my concern.
Yeah, that's amazing work that you guys are doing. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your expert insights with us. If our listeners want to find out more about you and what you do, where can they go?
The first and foremost is our Instagram handles where we are very, very active. It's arrangeitall.01. The second is you can go to our website, www.arrangeitall.com. Third is you can email us at connect@arrangeitall.com.
All right, that's amazing. We'll link those in the show notes. Thank you very much, Aanchal, for joining us today. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We hope you learned a little bit about organizing your bedroom, and we hope you implement those tips that Aanchal shared with us today. We'll catch you in the next episode.
You've been listening to Room by Room, produced by the Home Organisation Science Labs, a division of LMSL, the Life Management Science Labs. More episodes like this from across 10 life management perspectives can be found by searching LMSL on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and other podcasting apps available on your smart devices. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider rating our show, sharing it, and subscribing to our channel, as it helps other people find it so we can grow and bring you more quality resources. More of our work can be found on our website at ho.lmsl.net, where you can join our movement. I'm Gabriella Yastra. Thanks for tuning in.